Hello everybody, in this video we are going to be going over how to recognize PLL. Now this is just for those of you who are beginners and you need to learn how to recognize them from each other from looking at the entire cube. Now the way we're going to do this is we're going to go in alphabetical order. If you need to get to a specific case, I have them all up here and you can click to go to those at any time. I'm also going to be going over what to do if the cases look like they have parity or not on a 4x4. So what I mean is if it looks solved but there could be parity, I'll show you how to do that on a 4x4. So that's how we're going to do this here. If there's any cases that have mirrored algorithms, you know, like the A perms, the G perms, and some others that have mirrored image ones, I'm not going to go over all of them because it's the exact same thing. Just everything is mirrored. So now one thing I'm going to show you real quick is we have these things called opposites, which means colors that you get on sides when you do only 180-degree turns. So that means white and yellow, green and blue, and orange and red. So that's what you want to look for on here. I'm also going to be telling you some stuff that are called headlights. That's where you see two corners matched up right here. So that's where you'll be able to tell right there that the corners are matched up. Just two, not all of them. But if you have headlights all over the place, it means everything is solved. So that's how we're going to recognize these for this. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright, the first case we're going to go over is the A permutation. Now, here's what you need to see, okay? What you'll see is you'll have these two pieces matched up here. We will have headlights right here, which is two corners solved. And that's what you need to see. So you'll see them just adjacent to the three matched pieces here. And all the edges here should be solved as well. So what you should never see opposite edges, which in this means these two edges or these two edges. And that's what you should see. There's no case here that will mislead you or anything. So yeah, let's get to the next case. The next case we're going to go over is the E permutation. Now here's what you need to see here, okay? You see that all the edges are solved, and you see that the two corners need to be switched, okay? So one way that we can easily recognize this is, it's hard to tell if it's solved or two opposite edges have to be switched. But the way we can get around that in this case is we should see that they look solved, and then you should see that none of the corners match up with anything. So there's nothing matched up whatsoever. So that's what you should always see when doing this. And you should see that on one side of them, they have two corners that share the exact same color. So that'll tell you the part that has where the corners have to be switched. So that's how you recognize the E perm. Let's get to the next case. The next case we're going to go over is the F permutation. Now this case is actually very easy. So we should always see that we have a huge block right here, and we should have two corners switched here, and we should have two edges that were switched from opposites. So that's how it's very easy to solve. So we see a bar, we see opposites right here, and we see that the corners need to be switched. So that's all there is to recognize the F perm here. So let's get to the next case. Alright, the next case we're going to go over is the G permutation. Now, this is the first one we can get, and in this case here, to recognize the G permutation, you should always see these two pieces matched up, so we got a 1x2 block, and we should always have headlights somewhere on the cube. Now, the first one can be recognized because they are adjacent to the block here. And the rest of the cube should be completely scrambled, and those are the only parts that are solved of it. So now I'm going to show you what the other G perm looks like. Okay, so now the other G perm, we have the 1x2 block, but now the headlights are all the way over here on the other side that are opposite from these here. So that's how you recognize the G perm. So all you should see that's solved is a 1x2 block, and the corners all the way back here. And that'll tell you which way it is, just based on where the corners are corresponding to the 1x2 block. So that's how you recognize the G perm. Let's get to the next case. Okay, the next case we're going to go over is the H permutation. Now, this is the easiest case to solve. So we see that all the corners are solved. So we have headlights all over the place. And then we see that all the edges are switched with opposites like this. And it's so easy to do that you can actually recognize it like this very easily by seeing that that the opposites have been switched here. And you should still scan the entire cube if you're just a beginner or if you're doing 4x4. So yeah. Let's get to the next case. Okay, the next case we're going to go over is the J permutation. Now this is another very easy case to recognize. So what we see that these three are matched up along with this. So that's what we have to see that's matched up. And then we should then see that we have two 1x2 blocks right here that have to be switched with each other to solve it. So that's how we should be able to recognize it in the very easy case. So yeah, with that said, let's get to the next case. Okay, the next case we're going to go over is the N permutation. This is another very easy case to recognize. So we have 1x2 blocks all over the place, but we don't have any matched up with each other, and we see that it forms opposites like this. So that's how we should always see these cases here, or no, this case, and we should see that we have 1x2 blocks, and it's in complete opposites like that. So yeah, let's get to the next case. Okay, the next case we're going to go over is the R permutation like this. Now, don't mix this up with the G perm because we have the headlights here, but this time there's an edge solved with one of the headlights. So that's what we should see. So again, we should see headlights with one edge matched up and everything else is completely scrambled. So that's how we should recognize the R perm. It's very simple like that. So let's get to the next case. Okay, the next case we're going to go over is the T permutation. Now, this is another very easy case to recognize. So, what we should see is, we should see a 1x2 block, and then another 1x2 block on the other side, with an edge in between them that's an opposite with these colors here. And then we should see that these corners are not matched with each other, and the edge is also not matched. So, yeah, another very easy case, and that's how you want to recognize this case here. So, let's get to the next case. Okay, the next case we're going to go over is the U permutation. This is another very easy case to recognize. So we should have headlights all over the place here. We should have exactly one edge solved and no other edges solved. And it's so easy that if you actually look at it like this, see the corners are solved and the edges solved, you can actually tell it's the U perm automatically. You don't even have to scan the cube. But if you're just a beginner, you should still scan the cube and get used to it before going to that. So yeah, let's get to the next case. The next case we're going to go over is the V permutation. Now, the way this one works is we have these three pieces matched with the center, and then we have mismatched corners here, or no, edges, sorry. And when you look at it from this angle, we see that they're opposites and they're not supposed to be like that, so that's easy to tell. And then we should see that these two corners here need to be switched. So that's basically how you recognize it. You see that these are solved, you see that these corners, or no, edges are not solved, and the corners are also not solved. So that's how you recognize the V perm. So let's get to the next case. The next case we're going to go over is the Y permutation right here. Now, this is very easy. So what we should see is a 1x2 block here and a 1x2 block here with a corner that has to be solved. And then we should see that the back part here is completely not solved. Nothing solved over there. So it makes it very easy, and you can tell if it's the Y perm like this. Yeah, that's how we recognize the Y perm. Two 1x2 blocks like this, a mismatched corner, and the rest of it completely unsolved. So yeah, let's get to the next case. Okay, the last case we're going to go over is the Z permutation, or the Z perm. This is another very easy case to recognize. So we have headlights all over the place, and then we see that these two edges have to be switched with each other. So you can recognize it here or here. It's very easy. You can already tell it's the Z perm if you just look at it like this, where these two edges have to be switched with each other, and we have all the corners solved. So yeah. So now let's get on to how we do the 4x4 parity. Okay, now we're going to be going over how to deal with parity and recognize it on the 4x4. Now, there's a few cases such as the E perm and the Z perm that look very similar when they have parity, and it's really hard to notice them. And this will also really help for those of you that need to be able to see everything in the cube, or can't really notice that these opposite edges are switched because you don't remember the color scheme as well. So what we're gonna do is, you see the case thinking you don't have parity, so we apply the algorithm. And then you want to quickly check to make sure you don't have parity. If you do, you then want to quickly apply it. So then we got that. And another common thing that you can see is most of the time when you turn it and take a look at the rest of the cube, you'll automatically be able to tell if you have parity, because the cases I just showed you, if it looks nothing like those cases, or it looks different than that, like different pieces are matched up, that automatically tells you that you have parity. But for those of you that can't recognize it that good, you'll have to apply the parity after rather than before. So that's how you recognize parity on this. So yeah, thanks for watching, and if you ever master this, you've gotten good at it to the point where you don't have to look at things like this anymore, and you want to take another step to recognize it from just two sides, I have a video on that you can click the link right here to go to. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on my next video.